being good is exactly what they want. It keeps you trapped.
All right, let's get into one of the most important business books of the last, 50 years. Good to Great by Jim Collins. Now, you gotta understand, this isn't just some guy's opinion. This book is the result of a huge 5-year research project where they looked at over 1,400 companies to answer one single powerful question.
And that really is the question, isn't it? I mean, think about it. We all know companies that are, fine. They do okay. They're good. But then there are these other companies that just seem to find another gear. They make a leap and become truly legendary, and they stay that way for years. How does that happen? What's the secret?
And boom, there it is, the single most important idea in the whole book. The thing that stops most companies from becoming great isn't failure. It's not that they're doing badly, it's that they're doing good enough. And when you're good enough, there's no real pressure to change, right? There's no crisis pushing you to make that leap into the unknown. So, what we're gonna do is walk you through the exact blueprint that Collins and his team uncovered. They call it the Flywheel. And I want you to picture a massive, heavy stone wheel. Each one of these concepts we're about to cover is one push on that wheel. The first few pushes, they barely move it. It's exhausting. But with consistent effort, it starts to build momentum. Until pretty soon, it's unstoppable. Okay, first push on the flywheel, the starting point for absolutely everything. It begins with people, and more specifically, it starts right at the very top, with a super specific type of leader they call a level 5 leader. And I'm telling you what they found here, it just completely destroys the image we all have in our heads of a powerful CEO.
I mean, just look at this slide. On the left, that's what we think a great leader is. The big personality, the charismatic genius, the ego on magazine covers.
Totally. That's the stereotype for sure, the larger-than-life figure. But hang on, the reality is humble and reserved? No way. That is the exact opposite of what I would expect from someone running a giant, great company. That's wild.
It is completely counterintuitive, but the data was just screaming this conclusion. Level 5 leaders are this weird paradox. On one hand, they have this deep personal humility, but on the other, they have this ferocious, unstoppable professional will. Their ambition is all pointed toward the company's success, not their own. And my favorite part is this analogy they use, the window and the mirror. When things are going great, they look out the window and give all the credit to their team. But when things go wrong, they look right in the mirror and say, "This is on me, I'm responsible." Wow. So all those flashy, famous CEOs, they were actually a bad sign for the company's long-term health. But why though? What is it about that big ego that's so bad for business?
Well, think about it. A massive ego puts itself first, every time. It's about looking good now, not building something that lasts. And it creates a culture where people are afraid to tell the truth. A humble leader, on the other hand, builds a culture where the truth is heard, which, as we're about to find out, is absolutely critical.
Okay, so you have this rare level 5 leader. Awesome. But they can't do it alone. The very next push on that flywheel is getting the right people on the team. And this next idea, again, it seems so simple, but the way these great companies applied it was totally radical.
And here it is. This is probably the most famous metaphor from the whole book. The bus. It's so easy to remember. The idea is, before you even think about your strategy, before you figure out where you're going to drive this bus, your absolute #1 priority is who is on the bus with you. Whoa, back up. Look at step 4. Then figure out where to drive it. You're telling me they don't even have a plan yet? They obsess about the people before they even have a destination? That is completely backward from how every business class teaches you to think. That's crazy.
It sounds backward, but it's pure genius. Here's why. If you start with who, you can change direction on a dime. The world changes, and you can adapt. But more importantly, if you have the right people, they're already motivated. You don't have to manage them or light a fire under them. They have their own internal fire. They just want to be part of building something amazing. It frees up so much energy.
All right, so you've got your level 5 leader, and you've got the right people on the bus. The next big push on the flywheel is what Collins calls disciplined thought. And it all starts with facing reality, with a commitment to absolute unflinching honesty, no matter how much it hurts. And this is captured in maybe the most powerful idea in the whole book, the Stockdale paradox. This concept is named after a man named Admiral Jim Stockdale. He was the highest-ranking U.S. military officer held in the Hanoi Hilton POW camp during the Vietnam War. He was imprisoned there for over 7 years, tortured constantly. He had absolutely no logical reason to think he would ever see his family again, and yet he never lost faith. Man, that quote, that really hits me. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. To have this absolute 100% faith that you will make it out, but at the exact same time to stare the ugliest, most brutal facts of your daily life right in the face. To hold those two opposite ideas in your head at once. I can't even imagine that level of mental strength.
It's incredible. And here's the kicker, the most stunning part of his story. Collins asked him who didn't make it out, and Stockdale said, "Oh, that's easy, the optimists." They were the ones who would say, "We'll be out by Christmas," and Christmas would come, and it would go. And then they say, "Okay, we'll be out by Easter," and Easter would come and go, and eventually they just died of a broken heart. They failed to confront the brutal facts of their reality.
So this brings us to another really weird finding from all the research. If you're trying to create an environment where everyone confronts the brutal facts, can a leader's charisma actually get in the way? Wait, what? How could charisma be a bad thing? Isn't that what gets people fired up and inspired? You'd think so, but the danger is that a leader with a huge magnetic personality can unintentionally make people afraid to bring them bad news. You know? Nobody wants to be the person who brings down the great charismatic leader. So the truth gets watered down, and suddenly the leader has no idea what's really going on. Okay, so you're facing reality. The next piece of disciplined thought is all about taking that complex reality and simplifying it down to one single core guiding idea. Collins calls this the Hedgehog Concept.
I love this analogy so much. It's from this ancient Greek story, right? The fox knows many things, but the hedgehog knows one big thing. The fox is sneaky and clever and tries all these different tricks to get the hedgehog. But the hedgehog only does one thing, and it does it perfectly. It rolls up into a spiky ball. And every single time, the simple hedgehog wins. Great companies are hedgehogs. They're not scattered, they're not trying to do a million things, they are laser focused on their one big thing.
Exactly right. And finding that one big thing comes from asking three really specific questions, represented by these three circles. Your hedgehog concept isn't just a goal or a mission statement. It's this deep, fundamental understanding of your place in the world, and it's found right there in that sweet spot where all three circles overlap. And you have to answer these with that same brutal honesty we talked about. First, what are you deeply, genuinely passionate about? Second, and this is the hard one, what can you be the best in the world at? Not pretty good at, the absolute best, which also means being honest about what you can't be the best at. And third, what drives your economic engine? What's that one key metric that tells you if you're winning or losing?
The book gives this perfect example with Walgreens. They went through this whole process and landed on their Hedgehog Concept be the best, most convenient drugstores, with a high profit per customer visit. That's it, super simple. And that idea drove every decision. They put stores on easy access corners, they mastered convenience, they were just fanatically consistent with that one simple idea. And they absolutely dominated their competitors who were running around like foxes trying to be all things to all people.
Okay, so you have disciplined people leading the way, and you have disciplined thought guiding the strategy. The final push on the flywheel is disciplined action. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's about turning all that potential into real, tangible results, day in and day out. Now, this is a really important distinction. When we hear discipline, we think of like a strict boss or a bunch of rules. That's not it at all. A culture of discipline is actually the opposite. It's about hiring disciplined people you trust and then giving them freedom and responsibility within a clear framework. You manage the system, not the people.
Exactly. This quote just nails it. The idea is, if you find yourself creating a bunch of rules and processes, it's a sign that you hired the wrong people in the first place. The founder of Amgen, a big biotech company, was obsessed with hiring self-disciplined people. So as the company grew like crazy, it didn't need all those layers of red tape, and it avoided becoming slow and bloated, like so many other companies do.
Okay, final piece of the puzzle here, technology. This is where so many companies just get it completely wrong. They see some new, shiny tech, and they think that is the silver bullet that's gonna make them great. The research couldn't be clearer. It's not. This is the key. Technology is an accelerator. It doesn't create momentum, it just makes the momentum you already have go faster. The great companies figured out their hedgehog concept first, they got that flywheel turning, and then they looked for specific technologies to accelerate what was already working. Yes, and the mediocre companies do the complete opposite. They react out of fear. They see a new trend and they chase it because they're afraid of getting left behind. But without a clear hedgehog concept, all that technology does is help them go in the wrong direction faster. And that brings us right back to where we started, with that giant flywheel. A level 5 leader gives it a push. Getting the right people on the bus is another push. Confronting the brutal facts, push. Finding your hedgehog, push. It's this slow, consistent, relentless pushing in the same direction. And for a long time, it feels like nothing is happening. But then, you hit a point of breakthrough. And suddenly the wheel's own weight starts to work for you. And it's flying forward, creating almost unstoppable momentum.
It's just such a perfect metaphor because it proves greatness isn't some magic lightning strike. It's not one big event. It's a process of quiet, relentless, disciplined work. So we'll just leave you with this question to chew on, and not just for your business, but for your career, for your own life. When you look at this blueprint, what's the first push your flywheel needs?